I actually don't even know what came into me. I don't know, maybe it's the heat, but I already wrote half of a script because I thought it would make it easier for me to go through a monitor review with all the information that I want to present you. But after reading out loud just half of it, I thought, no, I just can't do this to you. I rather have it a little bit more flawed with a few more hiccups, but way more natural and way more enjoyable for both of us. And that's why I would say let's just start off with the review of the LG 38-inch ultra wide. And just as a TLDR, if you're willing to spend that kind of money and you want a super impressive big display with a huge amount of screen real estate and almost near perfect qualities, just go for it. But I also have to mention it's not for everyone. It's quite expensive and it's definitely not perfect for gamers. So yeah, but the qualities are impressive, so let's just get into these. First of all, ergonomics. Here you can see that its lowest point at 8.5 centimeters and at its highest point at 19.5. This means 11 centimeters of height adjustment. That is definitely way more than enough. Same goes for the 15 degrees of tilt towards the back and 5 degrees towards the front. But since there is no swivel option, you will have to move this foot. But in my opinion, it definitely looks very nice and it's also very sturdy and of high quality. Bezels, 11 millimeters, also absolutely fine. The only thing that bothered me just a little bit sometimes was this gold trim around. Because of this weird angle, it sometimes reflected light a little bit oddly. Then here is one of the highlights in terms of OSD controls because you have a joystick. And I totally don't get why other brands still use clunky buttons if just this one little joystick does all you have to do, and it works great. Then on the back we can already see white glossy plastic, totally fine but maybe not quite for everyone. You can also already see on the left the VESA mount and on the right we have the ports. You have USB-C with an upstream power of 60 watts and 2 times USB 3.0, one is with quick charge. Of course we get one display port in and two HDMI in. Under this do not use cap there would be another USB port, but that is for service only. Here 3.5mm jack for the headset and for the power. Then we can already see if we press that amazing joystick, we can see the on-screen display. Of course, up brings you to turn off the device, left to the inputs and downwards towards the Bluetooth audio. But right is where all the things happen in the settings. Here we can see quick settings offer brightness, contrast, volume, screen off and Bluetooth audio, more than you would need. Under input, of course, you can select the input, aspect ratio, and you can also change the picture-in-picture mode in case you want to use maybe two devices on this one because it also has a key KVM switch in case you want to use it. Not quite so important for me, but still a nice bonus. Then picture mode, there are plenty available as you can see here. Then again, picture adjustment, brightness, contrast, this time also sharpness, super resolution plus and the DFC, even though I didn't really change anything here. Game adjustment modes give you options for response time. You can actually set it to quick or fast because it works absolutely fine and it does improve the response time. Freezing is available, which I couldn't use because I have a GeForce, an NVIDIA card, and Black Stabilizer is available. So it definitely is a little bit better suited for gaming than some other ones, but it's not perfect, but I will get into that. Of course, we have different gamma levels, color temperature, and also 6-color mode. Sound gives you what you would expect, volume also for Bluetooth audio, and general has some general settings. But the highlight is actually that you can control all of that with the on-screen control software. And I said this on every LG monitor. The split screen option is super great, and I will get to that in just a few seconds. Then you, of course, have once again options to set the brightness, the contrast, and also the picture mode. And these can actually even be set specific to a certain app. And then you have the certain specific picture mode, and this is just really handy in case, I guess, at least for some people. I didn't really use it, but it's a cool option. And of course, we have the gaming mode with response time, freezing, and the Black Stabilizer. Here, for example, can see already 3 windows side by side with the split screen option. For me, it maybe doesn't really replace 3 monitors, but at least 2, I would say. So you can definitely replace 2 quite easily, and it's not quite as capable as for me, the triple monitor setup, but I definitely have to say it's impressive. The amount of screen real estate you get on one monitor is impressive. Now, let's get into a few numbers. We have 100% of sRGB, very impressive, and even 79% of Adobe RGB are, in my opinion, absolutely top. You can see the gamma of 2.2 is pretty much perfect, gray values are fine, and even the brightness, because we get a little bit over 300, even though I personally would like to see like 350 with some reserves left. Black value is totally fine, contrast as well, and the white point is set very good, and I have to say this is the best pre-calibrated display out of the box that I've ever seen. Nothing ever really comes close to that. Viewing angles, as you can see, straight up front, all the way to the front, all the way to the back, and even on the sides with an extreme angle where actually my studio lights already come in, thanks to IPS, super stable. Also white, very uniform, and even under complete darkness, you can see that's only only a minimal diminishing towards the corners, but still very nice white. But I think really even more so important for some of you could be the blacks, because in normal lighting, absolutely top. Here, extremely overexposed. You of course see that the uniformity isn't perfect, but don't worry about it. There's actually already some things, because for some reason it picked up some purple. This is more what you like what we see in reality. So you see some little bit of light bleed in the corners, but this is really minimal and it never bothered me at all. So still great. This is more like reality, but like I said, ignore the purple haze for some reason on my video. And this is my video, but just keep in mind my camera doesn't really reproduce it, so it doesn't do it justice at all. The display looks even so much nicer in reality, but I have to say all colors look absolutely top. So if you are someone who wants to video edit and photo edit with this one out of the box without any calibration, you can do this without any issue. Just keep in mind for videos it's amazing, absolutely, especially if you have something with 21:9, even though it's actually 24:10 if you are 100% correctly measuring all the pixels, but it looks absolutely spectacular, I have to say that. Just keep in mind that with 16:9 content, as you have on most other ones, still you will have pillar bars. It didn't really bother me, but definitely something to keep up. But 21:9 definitely looks spectacular. Now let's talk about the gaming just a little bit, because of course it's not suited for hardcore gamers or competitive gamers, because as you can see, gaming, and this is the most important attribute here, looks impressive because you have such a wide screen with an amazing display, because colors are great, it pops, it is realistic, the gamma is great, the contrast is absolutely top, and everything just delivers you an experience that you just won't get on pretty much any other display. Because gaming, of course, you just maybe get like 60 frames, even though 75 Hertz was possible. That on especially dirt felt a little bit wonky for me. It didn't feel right, and on with the HDMI port I didn't even get it to work, but 75 works. But you will only get FreeSync availability if you have an AMD card. So with the GeForce that I have, I couldn't try that, so it didn't look quite right to me, but it was still absolutely fine. I would still like to once see FreeSync in action, but that is not up on the table yet. But I still have to say, if you are maybe not a competitive gamer, but just a casual gamer someone who usually makes more video editing, a lot of productive work, because this is where the screen just shines. It is just made for productivity with a lot of screens on it, say on the same pace. But then you still want to play casually with an impressive gaming experience, then this is what you will get, because the response times are still absolutely fine, not fine on a competitive level, but still at around maybe like 15 milliseconds I read somewhere. It absolutely knows the level. For me, it was more than fine. Of course, personally by now, once I've seen 144 or 165 Hertz, I would wish for something more. But I have to say, this screen as it is, for the casual gamer, it delivers an impressive, spectacular gaming experience, even though maybe not the most competitive one. I won't really say anything bad about it in terms of that, because it is not focused towards gamers. It is focused towards productivity, video and photo editing and such things. And that's why I would say what I will actually skip this time is the pros and cons, because everything on this device is just a pro. Pretty much every aspect, the quality, the ergonomics. Yes, if I would have to point out two things that are not that great, it's not for competitive gaming, just not perfect for that, but therefore spectacular gaming. But what I would have maybe wished for would be a swivel option, but that's a minor thing, because once you've set it up, you won't really change it, and then the rest is just great. It feels great in terms of stability and so on. The colors look so right. I could easily video edit with this uncalibrated without any chips, because even if I did my pre-calibration test and after calibration test, I did not pretty much see any sort of difference, and this is just great. So all the aspects that I didn't mention as a negative are on an absolutely top level. And even the minimal light bleed was something I wouldn't even bother about it, because you just have to see this as a 38-inch display. And usually I've seen already displays that had way more light bleed. So this was nothing to bother about. Black was in normal viewing distance with normal lighting. Absolutely top. Same goes for the white, the colors, everything accurate, spectacular, high quality, sharp, smooth, top. I think I can't really say anything other than that. Of course, the price. It is priced at around, I think, 1,300 euros. Dollars, I think, should pretty much be the same, which is a lot. And for me, it would have definitely been something very nice if I would maybe have a similar second screen as an extension, because it doesn't quite replace my triple monitor setup that I have with my 3 times 25 inches. But what it could do without any issues, replace 2. That without an issue, but that is something a little bit different. So a little bit more convenient to use is just a triple monitor, and you want even more screen real estate. But for everyone who wants one monitor solution with the biggest amount of screen real estate, with a big screen, this is something to get actually hard to pass by, because once you get this off your table, you will notice that how small everything else just looks compared, because 38 inches on ultra wide is so spectacular. Wherever you look, you have screen, and it's usable and it's great. And yeah, that is all I can say. Highly impressed. Of course, I personally wouldn't go for something like that myself, because it's just way too expensive. But if you have the money and if you have the need for something like that, then I think you can't go any better with that. Unless you maybe are a gamer, then there are soon coming up options that are even way more expensive with higher refresh rates. But that's up for something else. But the video editor, the productive person, will get super happy with that one. And that's it. If you like this review, thumbs up and blah, blah, and all the rest. And I have to say, without a script, this was absolutely top in my opinion. Not that bad. Okay, until next time, bye.